Oh, I hope you guys like my new thumbnail style. I'm trying to get better. Feel me? Trying to get better. Um, this is what if Deku was Diavolo's secret son. Um, so yeah. Now I'm gonna do the same thing like I did in the What If Deku Was a Joestar, making his stand be inside of his body, stand energy and everything. Deku will actually have the pink hair with black dots like his father, but it's short. Think of it like, let me see. Uh, yeah, think of it like that, but it's not long, and it's kind of faded. Yeah, like Cassie Cage, kind of. Like, her hairstyle. Let me see if I said, oh, no. Alright, I don't have that picture no more, but kind of like Cassie Cage's little bun. Yeah, but it's kind of spiky like that. And it's pink with dots. Alright? Now, like I said, he's his secret son. Diavolo got drunk one day, hit it off with Inko, formed a little bit of a thing, of course. Now, Diavolo kind of felt different around Inko, actually letting her see his face. Yeah. Now, um, Deku would, of course, be born and Diavolo's gone. Alright? Diavolo just dips on Inko like 2 months before Deku's born. And then after that, the events of what happened and for like the next 3 years, that's when Diavolo would, I believe he was killed by Giorno, I believe. He was killed, but I don't quite remember. Anyways, now, through Deku's childhood, alright? I ain't gotta do this, alright? Nah, I'm not, I'm not gonna do this. I was gonna give Deku a split personality like his father, but then I feel like, why would I? Since it's not like split personalities or like some sort of hereditary thing, to my knowledge. So if I'm just stupid, just say that and say, yo, you're stupid. What are you talking about? But if I'm not stupid, then I'm not stupid. Anyways, um, now through the years, Deku, has been showing signs of whenever he gets into fights or arguments with Bakugo, he would flare with pink energy. And when Bakugo unlocked his quirk and started to attack Deku, thinking that he was weak and useless, Deku would always know that it was gonna come. No homo. Or nothing weird, but like, the attack was gonna come before it even came. Oh yeah, as you can see by the little word, let me see if I could, King Crimson Requiem. So that's pretty much Deku's powers, Crimson King, but Requiem pretty much. Now, once I, introduce Deku's quirk, that's when I'm gonna get more into it, alright? Now, Deku, one day, age of 5, is in a fight between Bakugo and 4 of his other goons as Deku's getting beaten up as he tries as his aura's flaring and everything. As out of nowhere, everybody just stops. The ground breaks apart. Deku just sees what he thinks to be outer space, but everybody's still there. As Deku would stand up, walk behind Bakugo, and Deku, out of nowhere, just sees everything just reform as Bakugo was finna hit Deku again, but he would see Deku's gone, as Deku would just be standing there behind him. you know that protagonist thing when they like get this new power up and they're just standing there behind them with their fingers curved and just looking at their hand. Yeah, like that. Kind of like what Gon did. Yeah. And Bakugo's like, oh, Deku, so you got a quirk, huh? Deku's like, I don't know. As the teacher would step and say, alright, that's enough. I'm calling both of you guys parents. As Inko would get called and she would automatically take Deku to the quirk doctor. As Inko honestly forgot about, you know, Hasashi since Diavolo didn't tell her his real name, just let her see his face. And Inko has most likely one of the worst memories in the world, so she doesn't even remember his face. What the frick did I screenshot my own picture? Oh my god, I'm stupid. Anyways, let me delete this. Alright, yeah. Anyways, Dr. Wood checked Deku's quirk, saying that his quirk is called Crimson King Requiem or King Crimson Requiem. As Inko's like, Requiem, doesn't that mean like the evolution? Yeah, so I'm guessing his father must have had a quirk like this. Didn't you say his father left? Yeah, yeah, 2 months before I gave birth. Yeah, it must be an evolution of his father's quirk. Let me go over his ability. So his first ability, yeah, he actually has two of them. It's called Absolute Epitaph, where he sees the future of everything. He sees everything that happens pretty much forever. That's why your son always knows what's going to happen. Now, growing up, this quirk might get overwhelming, so I'm going to have to find out some things for that. And also, his second quirk is called Time Erasure. And it seems like, from what we could tell, his father could skip time for 10 seconds since we can kind of backtrace quirks from the child's quirk. And yeah, his powers is pretty much an advanced versions of his father's, but his father's is also known as what some would call a stand, which some would say is a quirk manifesting outside of your body that can act as its own entity or be controlled by a user. And there has been a few cases, like there was this one kid, he had a bird quirk. It was called Dark Shadow, and but his quirk was attached to him, unlike the. Sorry for me stopping my recording. My dad asked me if I could do something for him. So yeah. Anyways, I'm pretty sure I left off with, the doctor explaining Deku's quirk, and Inko would say, well, his father was a real secretive man. Like, I know his father wasn't really the greatest guy. I know he did a few crimes from the way of how secretive he is. I didn't even know his powers, and it's amazing how you guys can track that type of stuff back. Thinking somebody like him would have kept himself off of the records. You see, ma'am, nothing stays off the records, ma'am. Once something's there, it'll stay there deep inside of some sort of file. Nothing ever stays gone. And she's like, yeah. As the doctor says, well, if you ever train your son's quirk, it could become really, really strong. Besides that one weakness of him seeing pretty much every possible outcome that'll ever happen, pretty much. So he could see something that he wished he never saw, like his own death. So So that one ability, epitaph, I don't really have any tips on training it, but gotta do the best that he can since the father's gone, so he can't train him. So as Eagle's like, yeah, I understand. As Deku hearing this all thinking, this is what's pretty much going through his mind. My father was a villain. Does that make me a villain? Did that mean that my quirk is for a villain? As from that day, Deku wants to know who his father truly is. As, oh, no. Should I do it that way? I'm gonna say Girano spared Diavolo's life, and he's locked up somewhere. Yeah, that'll be good. Alright, anyways, as for the next few years, of course, this will be a college, what if? So yeah, anyways, as Deku, is developing his powers, realizing that he has... Yeah, sorry for the pause again, as Deku would train his power, realizing that he has really good strength and pretty decent speed. As nobody would want to pick a fight with Deku after knowing what his quirk is, since he can predict any outcome. Also, he can stop time even if his epitaph ability fails. And everybody's just astonished as that's when we get to the last day of high school. Deku, still being somewhat of a All Might fan, but still trying to discover his father's true identity. One, so he can give the man a piece of his mind. Two, just so he can see his father as one, the sludge villain would attack, as Deku, already predicting this, would let the events follow through, since he wants to see All Might to ask him a question he's always wanted to ask him, as he lets himself get suffocated, as All Might would come, as that's when Deku would skip time and appear behind All Might when he Texas smashed the villain, as All Might's like, kid, you should be passed out. I know, but I wanted this encounter to happen. That's why I allowed you to do this. Go ahead before the sludge villain gets away and attacks Katsuki Bakugo. As he's like, alright, kid, as All Might would get up the sludge villain, putting him inside of 2 bottles that Deku gave him, as almost like, so kid, what is this whole thing you're talking about? As Deku's like, well, All Might, the thing is, I've always wanted to have this encounter with you. You see, I feel like you're an ally and not an enemy, to be honest, since you are a hero, aren't you, All Might? And it's almost like, of course I am. What question is that? Alright. So pretty much my power is Crimson King Requiem, as All Might thinking that the name Crimson King sounds super familiar, as he's like, go ahead. My first ability, Infinite Absolute Epitaph, which pretty much I can see the outcome of any situations, and I let myself get, I guess you could say, suffocated, so I could have this encounter with you. As almost like, alright kid, let's talk in a bit more private place. As they would go to the roof, as it was like, my second ability, Time Eraser. I can erase time for up to 15 seconds. And a good way for somebody to know is if you're bleeding, watch for a increase in blood. Since I actually, you know, did that while my mom was bleeding, and I found that out, which if you're someone disguised as Alma, you're learning pretty much one of my weaknesses. As Alma's like, alright, kid. So why did you want to have this whole encounter? As he coughs up blood and shrinks to a small microphone, I think it's like, so you are an imposter. As his energy flares, as almost like, no, as he explains his injury, as Deku's thinking strange. Why wasn't I able to predict this outcome? As Deku's like, maybe something you just can't predict. No, this is not like my father's power, where he can only see a mere 2 seconds, 10 seconds. I see everything all the time. So I should have been able to predict this. And it's almost like, who knows, kid, alright? But, as almost like, so, you've been talking for all this time. What was the question you wanted to ask me? My father, he's a villain, and I want to know 2 things. If you know who my father is, after I seen a look of curiosity or something relatable when you heard of my quirk from me. I mean, you heard of my father's quirk before, so do you know who he is? Secondly, could I be a hero or a vigilante associated with the heroes with the quirk like mine? The quirk that belongs to a villain, or does that make me some sort of villain? As Almighty says, kid, don't follow your father's path. Just because your father's a villain does not make you a villain. Follow your own path, kid. If you want to be a hero, go ahead, as All Might then says. And how did you know about the whole associated heroes? As because I do my research while I was looking for my dad. I found out there's something called the Night Squad, or nah, you need to give it a better name. I'll say the Nighttime Heroes. Nah, the Black Ops. Yeah, Black Ops sound a lot better. They pretty much do the dirty work for the heroes. Also, they are vigilantes since they're not actually registered heroes. It's almost like, you're pretty smart, kid. Yeah. It's almost like, well, I would offer to give you my quirk, but my power is so strong. As because like, and I knew you'd say that since I predicted that. No, I predicted one thing. Kosuke Bakugo. He looks like this as he pulls up a picture. Do not give him your quirk. You see, once he gets engulfed with the power of the pro hero, he would no longer want to be one. He would join the villains using your power to do evil. Don't give it to him. I would recommend you give it to this person. Muriel? Yes. Him. Lemillion, as he goes by. One of the big three at UA College. As almost like, yeah. Thanks, kid, for the reminder. I guess you would say as that, cause like, well, I have to go. Don't want to keep my mother waiting. As he's like, well, ta-da. As time was skipped, and almost like, so this kid, I swear I know who he's talking about, since he looks just like him. I fought him once. I don't know his name, but I know he's in prison now. But he allows nobody to see him. Pretty sure. As as All Might's just going through a whole bunch of possibilities to see this guy's face. Since All Might knows who he is, just don't know his name and can't quite remember his face to the perfect T. But he does remember one thing, the iconic hair. And almost like I will let you figure out the identity of your father, kid. If he's in jail or out of jail, I will help you find out his identity as. You know, Deku's just traveling home as he gets home, and there's about a good 2 years before the college starts, and Deku takes a few months to train and then create his hero costume slash vigilante costume, which will be this. And one day, Inko says, "Hey son, one of my girlfriends gave me a ticket to Italy to France, and we're going to be going there since she went through a divorce and don't feel like going anymore." It's like, all right, mother, as they would go to Italy, and when they would arrive there, Deku just loved Italy. And if you guys hear that background noise, the pipes run like through my bedroom, and like the heaters on top of it, so you might hear some noise from damn heater. But anyways, Deku, will automatically say, "Hey mom, I'm go look around," as he would look around, buy some stuff, and go home. Now they're there for pretty much 7 more months, and he spent 2 months, so there'll be like a month left be after the first year ends. And yeah, as it's been about like a month or two since they've been in Italy, and France, or whatever it's called. As Deku would be walking around, and let's say Giorno randomly has a cut, right? And he's looking for a band-aid, and Deku would see a child falling off of a building, as he would skip time, as Giorno would see the sudden increase in blood, as he diavolo, as he would tell Mista and I forgot the boss's daughter's name, but he would tell them both that Diavolo has escaped from prison. As they're like, what? How? He's in a maximum security prison, yeah, and he must be close. As Deku, of course, did not predict this, since Golden Experience Requiem pretty much counters any of Crimson King's abilities, as they're like, he must be close, as they will be looking around, as they will see a man with pink with black dots in his hair, as they're like, diavolo, as Jorno would say, you, as the person would keep walking, as Jorno would throw a rock at him, saying, you, diavolo, as things like, you talking to me? Yes, I know who you are. You escaped from prison. That's Doug is like, I don't know you. She's like, of course. Don't play these tricks with me, Diavolo. You broke out of prison. I will put you back in there. No, I'll put you in a body bag. I want you to let you cause no more terror. As the Deku like, what are you talking about? And that's when the Deku would see Stan, as Deku like, Oh, so you're one of those stand users the doctor was talking about, as Deku would get some pinkish, purplish energy flowing around his body as Deku says, well, I guess I'll fight you. And who's this Diavolo person? As Journal, as Mista starting to think that this person most likely isn't Diavolo, as that's when time would skip. Deku appearing behind Giorno, finna punch him as as Misa would shoot at Deku, as Deku would skip time, saying, hey, what the frick, bro? Got a pea shooter? That's not fair. As 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 Misa's like, who are you? My name's Izuku Midoriya. Who the frick is this Diavolo person? As they're like, Izuku Midoriya, huh? As Inko would be running up to Deku saying, Izuku, honey, there you are. As she would say, oh my gosh, are you okay? I heard gunshots. I came running. As Deku's like, I'm fine, mother. As Deku would be staring down the people as the boss's daughter would say, I don't sense him. He's not him. He might be somebody else. As when Inko sees the boss's daughter, she automatically sees the female version of Diavolo, as she will, walk up towards the boss's daughter saying, oh well, it's been so long since I've seen you. As she would, go up to her, as she's like, ma'am, I don't know you. As Inko snaps out of it, as she's like, oh wow, you look just like my old husband, his father. As Jiraiya would start to put the pieces together. No, there's no way. As the boss's daughter's like, what do you mean? He's Diavolo's son. He has to be. As they're like, wait, the powers, the hair. He's definitely Diablo's son. But why didn't he show his stand? As Deku hearing this conversation, still thinking why he's not able to, see what's going on, would say, oh, so you guys know who my father is. That bastard left my mother. What's his name? As they're like, first kid, why didn't you show us your stand? Yes.
You can go and finish your homework now, man.
Okay. Alright. Sorry again. As Deck would say, well, you see, the doctor said that my quote-unquote stand, as you guys could call it, manifests inside of my body, so I can't summon it, but I get to stand strength and abilities. As Jirona's like, huh, so you want one of the first new generation stand users I see. As Dick is like, so how do you guys know my father? What does he look like? I need to know. As Jerome was like, your father was the ex-mafia boss. Yeah, Diavolo. He actually tried to kill Trish. Yes, that was her name, Trish. Trish, his own daughter. As he's like, wait. I don't know. I don't know. As Diavolo in prison, he's scared, thinking that his own son, the reason why he even abandoned his son, no one predicting the outcome, since his powers reached further than 10 seconds once, predicting the outcome of his son becoming a hero, taking him down. That's why he abandoned him, but now he's here right now. As Diavolo would just have this hysterical look, ready for his fate. As Deku would say, there's no way. You guys said that he's in prison, right? I'm gonna get confirmation from him. Sure, kid. Follow us. As they would take Deku to the prison where Diavolo is being held. As they would, let Deku through. As they would take Deku to his cell. As Diavolo would just be sitting in a corner drinking some water. Deku automatically notices the match between their heroes. As they would let Deku in, and Deku would sit down as Diavolo would stand up, sitting at the table next to Deku. As Diavolo would say, "Well, son, good to see you." As Deku's like, "You bastard," as he slaps him. As Trish would say, "Wait, so he's my brother? Impossible." As Diavolo would say, How were you able to find me? Why are you even here?" As Deku says, "Well, my mother's friend got a divorce, giving us the tickets to come here." You got some explaining to do, old man. As Diavolo says, "Well, let's see. I'm guessing you want to know the reason why I left you and your mother." Well, it was about 15 years ago. I was drunk, and I encountered your mother. We had fun, and I engaged. We were about to get married, and I found out she was 6 months pregnant. And that night, I had a dream, or a vision, of you growing up to become a hero, stopping me from killing your sister. And your mother was the only one that knew my identity at the time. Luckily for me, she had a very bad memory. So I thought that I was safe. But clearly I'm not. So, have you fought a pro hero of Japan that goes by the name All Might? Oh, All Might. That pest. Yes, I have fought him. What's with it to you? So, you fought All Might. I'm guessing you're pretty strong, father. Even if you were a villain, you couldn't even stick around to train your own son to let him use his power. Wow. Ex-mafia leader. As he like power, what type of power? As Decky's like, oh, well, let's see. First, I got the ability to erase time up to 20 seconds. Upgrade to yours. Absolute epitaph. I see every possible outcome of everything. Alright? Father, which I'm shocked I didn't see this. And I didn't see I didn't freaking see Goldilocks out there sneaking up on me and having his friend shoot me. As Diop's like, what? Absolute epitaph. Yeah. Alright. My quirk is called Crimson King Requiem. As Giorno shocked, as he would say, there's no way. The only way for somebody to have a Requiem stand is for them to be pierced by the arrow. Unless Diavolo pierced himself one day by accident, and the son ended up gaining the power of Requiem. But that means that this would have been the power that Diavolo got if the stand would have chosen him. Mista would say, as Gianno's like, you're right. Luckily for us, he was drunk and he didn't even know until recently, though. That's good. As Gianno would say, Trish, how are you doing about this whole situation? As Trish would say, I'm shocked. I had a little brother out there all this time. Now they're all older, all right. Since it's been years since they took down, Diavolo. So yeah, Gianno's like 25. He's engaged to Trish. I'm gonna say so. Yeah. Anyways, because I believe he was 16 in canon. So yeah. Now he's 25. I'm dumb at math, so I'm not going to give you the exact years. As they're like, all right, kid, time's up. Leave the cell. As the deck is like, I'll never forgive you, Diavolo. As he walks away, as Trish doesn't even say anything to Deku. As Deku leaves the prison, going back to his mother, not even speaking to Giorno, but they did give him their number on the way to the prison. As the week goes by and Giorno would get a call, it would be from Deku, as Izuku would say, hey, Giorno, right? Giorno Giovanna. I'm sorry about our little encounter. I'm sorry I didn't say anything. I was just a bit shooken that my father was a mafia leader. And I had a sister, a older sister. Things was a bit shocking. But, everything's under control. I'm going to be, leaving in 3 weeks. And I would like to spend a bit of time with my sister. I don't have her number. I just have yours. So, if you don't mind, I want to talk to her and see if she can hang out. As Jerome is like, yeah, sure. As he would say, hey babe, it's your brother. And she would come running to the phone and she would say, hello. And as Deck would say, hey, Trish, I believe your name was. Yeah, I was wondering if you wanted to hang out before I leave. And she's like, yeah, sure. Where do you want to go? Deck's like, anywhere. I just want to, get to know you since you're my sister and I've never seen you before in my life. So, as she's like, yeah, understandable. As, holy snap, my thing's ripped. Anyways, as she would, hang up and meet up with Deku. They would hang out for about the next 2 weeks, and the last week, Deku uses that to pack and get all this stuff, and he would leave. And this would start, the 1-year training period for Deku. As Deku asked All Might to train with him, he don't want his quirk, he just wants All Might to train him. As All Might's like, sure, are you planning to join the hero course? As Deku's like, yeah, I'm going to join the hero course. Alright. Oh crap, that scared me. Anyways, as All Might and Deku were trained for the next 10 months. I'm going to end this at 15 minutes and 25 seconds, alright? Or no, 45 minutes, alright? Anyways, as they would train and we would get to the entrance exam. Deku would be walking in and all the girls flaunting over him as Deku wouldn't even pay them any mind, as he would just be walking as he would enter, as he would see Bakugo, as Bakugo would look at Deku saying, oh, Izuku, what are you doing here? I thought you said you were going to go to Shiketsu. As Deku says, I changed my mind. I'm going UA. As the Deku looks like, I wonder how I'm going to tell All Might about my father. I never told him. As Bakugo says, "Whoa, nerd! Looks like you got stronger. Well, I got even stronger too." As they would both walk in, splitting up. Deku would take the test, him getting a good grade on it, and as that's when Ida would start to say, "Sir, it seems like as that's when Deku would stop time automatically already predicting that this was going to happen. He walks up to Ida, sits him down, and sees his kid with tape on his arm. Pulls some tape his mouth shut, tape his hands together as he goes back and sits down, and it would end as he would be like, as they're like, huh? What happened? As President Mike would look at his watch, seeing that it has been an extra 20 seconds. That's strange. Noticing this small detail, he would still think maybe somebody used your quirk. Maybe they can change clocks or something. Probably said something weak as President Mike would then say, as I was saying before, the kid was going to interrupt me before he was interrupted. Now we have the 0-pointer. It's just a mere nuisance. Don't even take your time with it as they're all like, alright, as we would get to the thing. Deku stretching as soon as the gates open, Deku will be gone as they would see a path of robots just destroyed as Mike's like, so he's the one with that time skipping quirk as he would see his watch. It skipped time again as he's like, whoa, how is he doing this as Deku's just skipping time, destroying as many robots as he can, not destroying all of them. He leaves some behind for other people, and that's when Deku would feel a rumble on the ground as he would see the 0-pointer emerging. As that's where I'm gonna leave this one off. I'm sorry for all the interruptions and all the bad sounds. I will be, doing What If Deku Was Chuya. Yeah, I know somebody else already did this, but I'm doing my version of it. Alright. He's pretty much going to be the reincarnation, but his power is a quirk, and I'm not going to spoil too much. So yeah, peace.